Hello everybody and welcome to my patch rundown of the most recent Rimworld version. I'm Icon and I'm going to cover the newest version 1.3.32. You'll find the patch notes to that in the description box below, alongside with the timestamps of the topics that this video will cover. I'm going to try to summarize the changes of this patch as good as I can. And now let's get started, shall we? So the first thing that has been touched in this patch are turrets. Turrets have been pretty massively nerfed in the past, and I'm pretty happy about these changes. They might be slight. I don't think that they are enough, but let's have a look at them. First, the turret damage has been adjusted. So mini turrets deal 1 point damage more. This is better than it sounds because they shoot twice. And their accuracy has been souped up in general, so we not only have a higher chance of hitting, we also have a pretty decent chance to deal more damage with that. The autocannons received the same treatment alongside with the uranium slug turrets. As you see, the bigger impact was to be seen on the higher tier turrets, which is pretty okay because, you know, the mini turret is pretty okay as it was. You know, it's a low cost investment. It shoots and it explodes. It's pretty cool. Those high tier turrets were pretty crappy, and to get that thing a little bit better, we now no longer have a higher ammo cost when the difficulties go up, and the uranium slug turrets ammo cost went down alongside. Changes that I really appreciate. I personally think they don't go far enough. I like stronger turrets in general, also in vanilla, but that's just me. But that sums up the changes on the turrets. So let's get over to the next topic, and that's the changes to mortars. I like that. So mortars have been changed here. Their miss radius has been reduced, which is pretty cool. And most importantly, now we got a relation between the shooting skill and the accuracy of mortars. You know, I've made I've made a lot of jokes in my series because of the accuracy of these things. I once spent more than 20 shells to just bust down a single psychic ship, and it was a joke. It was hilarious. I'm really happy that this is now working out differently. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but I'll have to play test that. But at least now we can say that good shooters belong to the mortars, and I personally really appreciate that change a ton. Okay, next topic has been in the field of raiders. The raiders have been changed in two regards. First off, the breach raiders have been changed. This is a pretty interesting change because I was suffering a lot from breach raiders, and let's summarize that. First off, the cannons, the mechanoids cannons range has been reduced. That's pretty... can't ignore that. What's really interesting there is that mechs now use breach raiders only, and 33% of the times instead of 90% of the times. I didn't even know that the bias was that strong later on, but it's really horrible. And breachers now only focus walls, which is also pretty good. I haven't had that problem yet, but it sounds like a pretty good change to me. And the most important change, in my personal opinion, are the bottommost lines, where we get a reduction in damage on these breach gears, because I really thought as well that they were pretty OP. I was only meeting them, I think, even with castle walls, the breach raiders, as of recent. It was a medieval mod which souped up the power of the walls insanely, and really the breachers were just sniffing them away. Pretty good changes because, you know, at that point it feels hilarious if these are too strong, as much as I appreciate them, because breachers do create a higher variety of gameplay, and that's something I can only approve. The other change about raiders is in terms of variety. That's only a small change, but it looks small, but it ain't small. So selection weight of the most recent raid faction is reduced by 60% when choosing a faction for the next raid. That raid's pretty bulky, but it translates down to there's a much lower chance that the same faction will raid you twice now. That's all it does, and I love it. I really love it because, you know, it was really annoying at some point. And the I can't really say what the second line will do. It sounds as if we will see more different strategies when they are attacking us, but the first line there already made me very, very, very happy because, you know, seriously, I hated the fact that it was at some point always the same in the late game. This should help a bit. So this was the raider topic. Now the next topic will be about food, and it's actually a quite large one. So let's get that down. So here's the wall of text, but don't you worry, it's much less complicated than it looks. So first off, we now have varied meal textures depending on the ingredients. So as you see here, I got a simple meal that's green. Let's zoom in closer. And a simple meal that's red because it's containing meat. That's what this does. The other things here are pretty cool. First off, if your religion has food restrictions, you get these automatically into your food schedule. Lovely. This was awesome to have that change because it sucks to have that adjust every time. We now have more different looks. That's more patch notes about that. But what I really, really loved there was that we now can see who's going to eat those meals, and we're getting those read out here. Down there you see that red shiny contains meat, and there's also a couple of really cool things that only makes sense when I show you where this really matters. So here, the food restriction thingies, I'll show you what that means. So let's turn off that one and show you where this is located. So when you're going into the assign area, food restrictions, when you now select a food restriction, what's new here? First off, I don't know if these got added with the latest patch, possibly. But here, when you check this out, now you have check marks here for allow vegetarian food, allow food with appetizing meat, allow food with human meat, allow food with insect meat. So basically, now we can finally make sure that our people won't even accidentally touch these things, even if they are available. That's what these did. And also you will get a more precise readout about how these foods are composed and who's going to be compatible to that. I really enjoy these changes because that makes vanilla food much more interesting. You know, without mods, I felt vanilla food was always a very, very boring thing. Okay, but that's pretty much it. Small changes, but important changes, in my opinion. And now let's go for the this and that section, the miscellaneous things. So careful, there's a lot of this and that coming in. So jokes aside, here's the patch notes. So the first thing is regarding the tree lovers, and if I understand that correctly, you will now have a opportunity to chop some trees without them going bonkers immediately. I'll have to playtest that, but according to what it reads out, it sounds as if the tree lovers now don't go that nuts if there are a lot of trees around. I don't know if it works out like that. I haven't tried it yet. But the next part really, really was really enjoyable for me. So slaves are now worth 75% of colonists. I don't know where that number was before. I don't know if that's a buff or a nerf at that regard. But now I at least know how slaves are calculated, and it's pretty good. Terminals and worshipful villages, that's just something that, well, okay then. But the steel slag chunk thing here is really cool. Well, in a way. They are now heavier than before, but that's pretty good because it relates exactly to the amount of steel you get out of them when you smelt them. That was pretty stupid. I don't like it when stuff is easier when it's not processed, but well, you know, for the sake of immersion or something like that. The other part here, the biosculptor things, are basically better readability of the biosculptor feature. That's all you need to know. It's a little bit of quality of life added in, so you can see how long they'll need, how long the transhumanist needs, and so on and so forth. It's pretty cool, but nothing groundbreaking here. And what's really important to know here is that a lot of new vanilla researchers now need high-tech benches to be researched. I find that very logical. You know, neural supercharging is pretty unrealistically researched as a simple research bench. I just wanted to note that because it is a gameplay change, you know. And last but not least, you can't claim stuff anymore if enemy faction people are around. I appreciate that, because that's pretty nonsensical if you can't do so. Okay, that's pretty much it. The most important things I brought up in the first place of that video. I felt like the turret and mortar changes are the biggest thing here that happened, and they are really good things. I repeat, I think the turrets will be still too weak in that regard, especially since breach raiders still will rack up our bases regularly, and you know, that downgraded the whole kill box concept already. And well, we now have less and less options to defend ourselves, and weaker turrets are bad. Let's hope that these turrets will do the trick. I doubt it though. What I really love are the mortar changes, because they are strictly positive, you know. More accuracy for mortars, more logical approach for mortars. Food stuff, I really love that too, because, you know, more configuration stuff. And seriously, the fact that we can now, wait a sec, where was it again? The fact that we can now manage our food restrictions so much easier here is maybe even the most useful quality of life upgrade in this patch. Okay, that's all I have to say about this. I hope you found that helpful. Feel free to drop me a comment if you have something to add. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and of course consider subscribing. I do daily content. All you need to do is hit that notification bell. And if you want to be super awesome, you also check out the description box down there completely, where you will find my Discord channel, my Twitch channel, and also ways and means to support this channel directly. If you might want to check these out, I'd be delighted. If not, don't you mind. Watching this video to this point already means a ton to me. See you guys next time. Bye bye.